dozens of lives. He stretched himself across a speeding skateboard. Then, his partner released the board's latch, sending it racing underneath the crowded bus behind them. Terrorists had secretly planted several bombs beneath the vehicle, and if its speed ever dropped below 50, every bomb would explode. The police had only one option to send bomb expert Jimmy underneath the moving bus. Working together with the driver, he successfully reached the explosives. Using years of experience, Jimmy quickly located the bomb's main control wire, but just as he prepared to cut it, the high-speed skateboard struck a chunk of rubber lying on the road. It instantly spun out of control. Even the safety cable attached ahead couldn't stop it. At the last second, Jimmy grabbed the bus chassis, narrowly escaping the spinning wheels that could have crushed him, but his nightmare was far from over. If things continued like this, his strength would soon give out. Even worse, the tremendous force had already snapped the safety rope connected to the skateboard. Now, no matter how powerful Jimmy was, he couldn't stop the board from sliding away. As death crept closer every second, Jimmy drove a screwdriver into the fuel tank and used it as a grip. With his free hand, he seized an iron support beneath the chassis. Finally, his body was no longer dependent on the runaway skateboard. The passengers quickly opened a floor panel and pulled Jimmy back inside, but there was no time to celebrate. The punctured fuel tank was leaking non-stop. In less than 10 minutes, the bus would slow down, and everyone on board would die in the blast. Since defusing the bomb wasn't possible, police deployed a flatbed truck beside the bus, hoping to rescue passengers one by one. Only the first person made it safely across. When the second passenger attempted the transfer, the bomber suddenly detonated an explosive beneath the door. The platform was blown apart instantly, and the woman fell from the moving bus, losing her life. Jimmy was devastated, but the tragedy helped him realize something important. There had to be a hidden camera somewhere on board. That's how the bomber always knew what they were doing. After searching the bus, Jimmy discovered a tiny pinhole camera concealed above the doorway. Once the captain learned this, he ordered local radio stations to intercept nearby transmissions and replace them with a looped recording of the current bus footage. They hoped it would trick the bomber. Meanwhile, the real rescue mission was already underway. Thanks to the combined efforts of Jimmy and the police, nearly every passenger was transferred safely onto another bus traveling alongside them. The bomber remained completely unaware. Soon, only Jimmy and the driver were left behind. To escape, Jimmy wedged a metal bar against the accelerator, tied a rope between the steering wheel and an iron plate. Then both men positioned themselves on the plate and slid beneath the bus. The tension on the rope gradually pulled the steering wheel, changing the vehicle's direction. Moments later, the unmanned bus crashed into an abandoned airplane and exploded in a massive